I'm going to show you how to plant big moringa trees just like this, so that way you can start making a living from moringa. Stay tuned. But first, I want you to know that you can grow moringa in a pot just like this. I have several thousand moringa trees growing in my nursery, where I cut the trees back regularly, and it keeps them short, bushy, and green, and it helps to thicken up the stalks. And you can also plant it in a greenhouse like this, where you can get full growth all year round, especially if you're in a cold region. You can start to grow moringa in a greenhouse like this. Is also where I've cut the trees back multiple times already, popping tops. They're going to split. They're always going to produce nice, bushy, dark greens. Fresh greens. The best way to get fresh greens consistently is by cutting your trees back. And now these are almost ready for another harvest. The beautiful part about getting big trees from us at Grow Moringa is that they already have a head start with the big root system, and you don't have to wait for years of production once you plant this tree to get your operation going. This tree is going to go directly in a box just like this, and we're going to send it in the mail very quickly, very quickly. You're going to get it. When you pull the tree out of the box, you're going to go ahead and either plant it in the ground, in a pot, or in your greenhouse. You can also put your moringa trees year after year after year in a bin with wood shavings and preserve your trees over the wintertime. This is in a frost zone in Texas, and this grower is growing them over and over and over every single year. He's just cleaning them off really well, putting them in a bin, storing them over winter in a cool, dark space, pulling them out and putting them in pots. Every single year, he's now had these trees going for 3, 4 years now. You can see he calls those the big old Texas tubers. And that's a way, if you're in a frost zone, because the bark is so thin, to be able to pull your trees out of the ground, out of the pots, and preserve them every single year. They're going to come back every single year. His trees are huge. The reason why moringa doesn't do very well in cold climates is because the bark is super thin, paper thin. So this is literally the bark being shaved off here, exposing the cadmium layer. And that's the reason why moringa is so sensitive to the cold, is because it has no protection and it'll freeze. The trunk will freeze and explode with water inside, killing the whole entire stem, which is why moringa can actually come back from the root if this is completely frozen back. And one of the reasons why I like to keep my trees short and bushy is that way this is thick enough to prevent it from frosting as much and damaging so much. If you have a thinner part of this would freeze, but the water inside of that would reach down in and damage even more. But if you have the tree cut down to a thicker spot, then it has more resiliency and it doesn't have as much chances for loss or damage. That's a quick tip on essentially, if you want to grow it in a pot or bring it inside, you certainly can. If you want to grow it in a greenhouse, you certainly should. If you have a frosty condition, if the trees have a chance of freezing, then you want to go ahead and get your trees protected. I go ahead and keep my trees short and thick, so that way they can last. If they die back, at least a lot of times they come back from the root, and then they just resprout from the root here. And then we just keep harvesting greens. Quick tip on why moringa trees don't do very well in cold climates is because the bark is super thin. This is our Shopify store where we are selling the big moringa trees. This is the back end, and you can see here that in the last 90 days we've sold over $800 worth of big moringa trees. This is how you can begin to make a living. Grab your big moringa trees for me today, so that way you can get your field going. Your trees will then also start to produce. We also provide free moringa seeds inside of each package. Get your big moringa trees today at growmoringa.com. And moringa just isn't any other tree. Moringa is known as the miracle tree. That's because it has so much vitamins and minerals in the leaves, and every part of the tree is used. So what I'm going to do is build my soil up. I have about 2 feet of mulch on the ground, oak mulch, and I'm digging a hole and I'm about to fill it with soil. good composted soil, and we're going to plant these trees high and dry. High and dry. We're in a tropical zone in Florida, and it gets really wet in the summer, so we plant our trees high and dry. Let's come on in here so you can see exactly how I plant these trees. The key is to not plant your big trees below the wood that's forming here. So this is the stem, where the stem and the bark turns into the root. You want to have essentially your soil line right at the line that there's a line right here that signifies the change from root to stem. You see that little line right there? So what you want to do is make sure that you're not planting it too far deep. I actually like to expose a little bit of the root system and plant it high on this. That way it has a chance to breathe. This is kind of like the neck of the tree here. And if you've got it too far covered with soil and mulch, it has not as successful chance of being able to breathe and aerate. Otherwise, the roots could rot. So what I'll do is I'll just make sure that I'm in line here and take my soil, dig a little bit down. It's nice and soft all the way down. And then I've got it in soil. I put a little bit more soil here around it, but I'm not submerging it too much. I've got the roots completely free. And then I'm just kind of putting a little bit of mulch around it just to level this off, to cover up the soil. But I even have some of the root exposed. I'm going to compact this a little bit just that way it holds steady. If I have to add a little bit more soil, just so it's not as exposed, it's good. But I'm not planting it further down and submerging it down and covering it. I'm making sure that a large portion of it, now that it's this age, now that she's made it to this age, I'm making sure that she's high and dry. So if you have a tree right now, a big tree right now, and you're digging down, and you still can't see the roots, pull that baby up and lift her up in the pot or lift her up in the ground to make sure she's at the surface and she's able to aerate and dry out. Those roots down there are going to stay nice and moist. Right now it's still kind of raining here and there, and we're coming into September, October. It's still really hot, so she has another couple months of just moisture in the air, water in the air, maybe water and dew forming in the morning, and she's going to be perfectly fine. Even out here in the field without any irrigation. Mind you, I'm growing moringa outside in the ground because I'm in a tropical place. So if you're asking me, can I grow moringa in Alaska? Can I grow moringa in Canada? Can I grow moringa inside? Can I grow moringa indoors? Can I bring my tree inside during the winter? You can do all of that. You just have to make sure that you're recreating a tropical environment no matter where you're growing it. So it has lots of sun, lots of airflow and fans and movement, maybe some moisture in the air, but also it's hot. So wherever you have it inside, she's also getting, say, like grow lights, circulation, fans, air, and she's also not getting too wet and too cold inside as well. So creating an environment like this is going to help you succeed the most when growing big trees. If you're ordering big trees and you're, say, in a northern climate or it's about to be wintertime, you can grow them indoors. You just have to recreate the environment that it naturally grows in a tropical condition. And so here I'm just making sure that the mulch is not really touching the base, right? I don't have the mulch piled up here. That's going to suffocate the tree. And so now she's good to go. Let's learn a little bit more about what moringa can be used for and how we can actually make extra income from this big moringa tree. And with your big trees, you'll have access to lots and lots of fresh greens. You'll be able to take these greens and dry them and grind them into a powder for smoothies. You'll be able to also even just eat your greens fresh right off the tree, like a spinach. Moringa is packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and it's one of the most nutritiously dense foods that you can eat on the planet. Not only do we have moringa for people in the powder form, but we also have it for animals in the pellet form. So you could even begin your moringa tree operation and sell just as a dog supplement or a cow or a pig or a horse or a goat or a chicken supplement. You can grow it just for animals. Either way, you'll want to get your big trees started with me here, so that way you can start to create a lineup of products from trees that you grow right in your own backyard food forest. Let's go back in the field. I'm going to go ahead and feed the big trees that I just planted with Moringa fertilizer. That's a whole nother industry that you can be a part of. You can grow Moringa for people, pets, and then I'm going to show you how to use and grow Moringa for plants. You can put the powder directly in the soil, and you can make an extract directly from the leaves. Let's go back to the field. That's right, Moringa can also be used for animals. And what I did here was I just added a few pellets, just a few pellets of Moringa to our dog feed. And this helps with energy, it'll help with the coat. Moringa can help your animals with digestion. If you care about your pets, eating clean and natural, this is one of the best superfoods that you can give your animals. And we have it at very affordable. This is a supplement. This is a 1 pound package, but it could last several months. If you have small animals, we actually have people that order this on subscription, so they save money every single month. They get 1 pound of this every month. She has 2 big dogs. It goes through, essentially 2 big dogs go through a bag in a month. But you don't need much. This is just a small little additive supplement for vitamins and minerals. And this is how you can begin to make a living from Moringa by starting with your very own big Moringa trees. Get your own big Moringa trees, and this is what's going to help you start to make a living from Moringa. And here's something that you might not have known, is that Moringa can actually be used as an incredible plant food. It's a biostimulant, and we make a natural biostimulant here from the leaves. This will also, if you add it to your trees, will help improve the growth and the production by up to 40% more production on your Moringa trees. Put Moringa on your plants as a natural fertilizer, chemical free. So one of the ways that I'm going to do it here is, number one, I'm just going to put the Moringa powder here. This is our USDA certified organic Moringa powder. This is the same powder that you might be able to buy on Amazon for yourself, for people, but we sell this for the plants because most Moringa around the world was imported. And this was also an imported Moringa, but it's an industrial product, so it's not as green. People like to see the green. So we save our real fresh green stuff for the human selection, right? For the human products. But the import Moringa that's, grown around the world, or the ones that we get here, USDA certified organic from Nicaragua, it's still really great. It has lots of vitamins and minerals. It just doesn't look green. So customers are like, why is my Moringa not green? And we can get into the different drying practices and growing practices that many other farms and companies use around the world. But for now, we're just going to focus on the fact that it's a USDA certified organic powder that we use for our plants. We don't use this necessarily for people, although it's the same Moringa that you can get on the shelf on Amazon, or if you buy Moringa anywhere online, it's the same Moringa that you're going to get online. It's just not as green as our handmade local USA fresh green USA powder. But that's why we sell this as a biostimulant powder that's great for the plants. It has lots of vitamins and minerals. It's essentially Moringa powder. It's just marketed and sold as a plant fertilizer. It just doesn't have the label on it for human consumption, just because we try to sell the USA powder for people, and we try to sell the USDA imported powder for the plants, because it's cheaper and we can just put it directly on the plants like this. So what you would do is just go like this, put a little bit of powder essentially on your plants. The active ingredient in Moringa is called zeatin. And so we're just putting that back down into the soil. And then one of the ways that we'll go ahead and water that in is actually with the liquid biostimulant solution. So we'll put a couple ounces of that in here. like this. So we have this special bottle here. We'll just squeeze it and it goes right in. And we got a couple of ounces of Moringa biostimulant just going right in there. All right, don't need much. A couple ounces go a long way. I usually do like 2 or 3, sometimes 4 ounces to a gallon or 2 gallons. All right. And then we'll just water that in. But you can also water the stem. Get that biostimulant in there. Swoosh that around. And now that's officially planted and done. This is how to get your big tree producing as fast as possible, so that way you can start getting extra cash for your greens. We have other videos that talk about the difference between USA powder versus USDA powder. Check that out. I'm just an avid USA, local USA, all day, every day. And if anything is being imported, I'm using it more so for the animal food and for the plant food, right? My USA powder that I have here, I'm growing it at a premium product, hand produced. Everything is high grade. That's why our greens are super powerful, super green, and they also garner a premium price. And so I would love to help explain that to you. Just check out some of the other videos that we have about USA versus USDA. At the end of the day, if you want to get moringa trees in bulk, and you want to get large amounts of trees, 100 trees, 500 trees, we now have a special inside the members area. Everything is 50% off. Let's talk a little bit more about our special members offer. And right now, these big moringa trees are on sale. You can get an even better deal, 50% off. You get these for a fraction of the retail price as a member of the Grow Moringa Collective. You get wholesale pricing on trees, seeds, and all of our premium USA grown moringa products: tea, powder, spice, oil, capsules, and more. So don't wait, because these trees are going to double in size over the next few weeks, and we're going to have to double our price. So go ahead and grab your big moringa trees now. If you text me directly, 813-696-6676, and you'd like to order, just text order to 813-696-6676, and we'll call you back if you're having trouble order. Otherwise, you can follow the link in the description below. It's at growmoringa.com. Just click the shop button, and we're going to send out these big trees to you. Get them now before it gets too late, before it gets cold. You want to plant them in the ground right now before the end of the summer season, before fall starts. That way you have a couple months before winter comes. You can get them in your greenhouse. You can get them in your pots. You can put them inside over the winter. You just have to get them now. I can't order them for you, but if you went to growmoringa.com right now or click the link in the description, you'll be able to get your big moringa trees right away. And you won't be disappointed, because these trees are ready to sprout. They're going to get just like this here in literally just a few months. You can see here that this is going to come up, then you're going to cut it, it's going to split, and you're going to keep cutting it. So I'm going to cut it again here, so that way it splits again and it gets bushier and bushier and bushier. We're going to keep the trees short. If the trees stretch for me and they're getting taller than me, I usually bring them down, so that way we can make more loose leaf, tea, and powder and supplements. I use all of the USA moringa here for our human consumption, and then we'll, on this small scale farm, buy in powder from other places. And so right now we have a grower, 1,000 acres. He's a member. He grows 1,000 acres in Nicaragua. So we bring in a lot of our biostimulant and a lot of our seeds from that particular partnership that we have. But we buy moringa. So if you're listening to this and you're in another country and you're asking, hey, will you buy my moringa? Yes, we will buy your moringa. We just need you to sign up for membership first. That way we can start our relationship. We can get to know you a little bit more inside the members area, and then you can start letting us know what you have for sale. So let's keep in touch. I want to help you guys get your big moringa trees before it's too late. I'm Kendrick Henry, your local USA moringa farmer, and I can't wait to see you on the inside of the members area, so that way I can help you get even more savings. Over 50% off your big trees today at growmoringa.com. Sign up for membership. and I'll see you inside the members area. Peace and love.